7th, 1878 to October 22nd, 1968.
Lise Meitner was inspired by her professor to become a physicist.
She was the second woman to get her doctoral degree at the University of Vienna.
At the time, women weren't given the opportunity to have any further education.
But with Daddy's money, she went to Berlin and got to listen in on Max Planck's lecture.
Within a year, she became Planck's assistant.
Then she began to work with Otto Hahn, and together they discovered new isotopes.
As a team, Hahn and Meitner moved to the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in southwest Berlin.
And together, in 1917, they discovered the first long-lived isotope, protactinium.
At the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Chemistry, Meitner was given her own section for physics.
5 years later, in 1922, she discovered what is now called the Auger effect.
We now interrupt this program for an important announcement.
Auger effect, a spontaneous event in which an atom with an electron vacancy in their innermost shell readjusts itself to a more stable state by ejecting one or more electrons instead of radiating a single X-ray photon. This process is the cause of emission from the electron's surface.
And now back to our scheduled programming.
Meitner was the first woman to become a full physics professor.
She and Hahn joined a research team for nuclear physics, in which later they took part in discovering nuclear fission.
Hahn and Meitner would meet privately to do new experiments.
And while Meitner was away, Hahn would write her letters discussing his discoveries.
In one of his letters, he recognized that fission was the only explanation for barium.
Meitner and Frisch were also the first to articulate a theory on how the nucleus of an atom could be split into smaller parts.
And thus nuclear fission was born. But with Daddy's money.
At the time, women weren't given the opportunity. There's a freaking car.
No, all I can see is your chin.
How close? I wanted to think of a freak. And thus nuclear fission was born.
And there's a car.
My car.